It's the next day, and as you can see, it has snowed, and it snowed for quite a bit this morning, but not too much. Looks like a half an inch or so, and on the ground it's actually stuck. And it was supposed to snow a lot more. It's supposed to start tonight again and snow overnight. And I'm really wanting to progress with this roof. And I had been thinking about, now putting in context again, never done this before. Planning on a tin roof. So I've been worried about install because of safety, and I've got a 12-12 pitch, so it's pretty inclined, and I realize that I'm making it hard on myself by just planning on attaching the metal directly to the roof here without putting anything else on top. So I've decided that I am going to go ahead and put up some boards. It's a lattice system, just a little framework. I'll frame the bottom and the sides, and then do 2 foot on center all the way up. I've got plenty of material. That pile right there, that pile is exactly what I want for that, and so that'll be adequate. And I'll have to get those little sections that are uncovered. There's a little bit down here, and that right there that got snowed on of the roofing paper. I'll have to get that dried off, and then I'll put another layer over the top of that and a layer over the other side, and then get that buttoned up, and then I will screw down the basically lattice support system for the metal roof, and that'll put a little half-inch gap between the tin and the roof itself. And of course on the inside it's going to be insulated eventually, and most importantly for me, that's going to make it so that I am safe throughout the install of the roof, because I've got a ladder that I can lean up on this side and do this, because I'm starting from there and working this way, and it doesn't really matter which way, but either way I've got a ladder I can stand up on the end and get that last one installed safely. But all the rest, I don't have one that I can lean out at a 12-12 pitch and get all the way to the top, so that's going to be a lot better. It'll have a built-in ladder underneath the tin that I can use and stay safe on as I install. So that'll be good. Today is supposed to be a precipitation free day until tonight from now, so snow in the morning, snow in the evening. It's okay for working in between. But that is the updated plan, and it's comforting to have that in mind, because I was worried about safety. I have no desire to fall, and that's going to help to prevent it. So one more step to make sure I'm safe and that things are going together properly. So you folks on YouTube that have shared tin roof install videos, thank you. That was my part of my breakfast today. And so Today I had some yerba mate, bagel with cream cheese, blueberry bagel with cream cheese, and some YouTube tin roof installation videos for breakfast. So I'll keep you updated as we go. One thing I want to note is, so I have 2-foot overhang here, and I wanted to make sure that as best I can, I would be protecting the walls. And as I come down, now I know this isn't rain or driving storm, but come down all the way, the walls are clear, and the porch area is actually pretty well protected up to that point. Of course, this is snow coming down, so it'll be different with rain, especially driven rain, but for now I'm happy to see that the wall is totally dry, and it's only wet over there where it is touching the porch. And long term, eventually this will be covered anyways. And so in the future I'd like to put some windows up here, but then I'll put a cover, maybe a balcony, but maybe just a little roof to cover this area that just comes off straight, but we'll see. Either way, I'm happy with seeing this and this be protected. So just wanted to share that with you and enjoy the fact that there are windows inside. So while I'm here, just gonna walk inside here. So I've got that, all of the windows in. All of the windows are shimmed now and squared up, and that's the playhouse that this is going to be replacing for the kids. Now look at my window. Is this one is it's plumb and leveled at the top and bottom, just to double check everything, but you can see that playhouse is not, I mean, here, see that? It's got a serious lane there. And so we're going from dilapidated playhouse to the upgrade. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that slide. Definitely keeping the green one. I've got a yellow one that is over here sitting upside down in the snow that's going to be installed as well. So I might put those next to each other. I'm not sure if they're exactly the same height, but we'll make it so. Those will probably go side to side, just parallel each other, but maybe not. We'll see when the time comes, and that won't be till later this year. But okay, windows, solid window. They're all double pane. This one has the pull down screen and opens. This one opens and has a fixed screen. This one opens and right now has no screen, so eventually I'll make one for that. This one opens and has the pull down screen. It's a solid one, does not open. This one opens and has a pull down screen. So those are the windows, and this is just the light of the day. So you can see it's well illuminated, and that is with that wall covered. So it's going to be plenty of illumination. Now you can see there's a window, that's where the door will be. There's a window, and maybe just glancing at it like that, you can't tell. Looking at it from outside, I'm sure once things are uncovered, you'll be able to tell. These windows are the same height, but that window is 4 inches wider. And if you've watched the previous video, then you've seen that. I might put this on this same video. Anyways, so you'll have seen that this was a lot of work to get that in, since I mistakenly originally cut them both to fit that one and forgot that they weren't exactly the same size. So there you can see that from the corner, that's a lot less space than over on this one, but we're going to see if we can play with the trim widths to distract from that. And on this side, because there's more space, you can't really tell as much just at first glance, but you will be able to if I don't trim it right. And so I'm going to have to put a fatter trim around this one, thinner trim around that one, so that hopefully the gap between the door trim and the window trim is the same here, and same thing on the outside. And so we'll just see how that goes. Then all the rest of the trim will match each other, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm definitely going to trim between the windows as well so that it closes that gap. I'll do that on the outside and the inside. And then, but that's all stuff that's coming later. So I'm drying these boards out. These are going to be roof boards, and that's what's going to be under the eave on that side, on the west side, and that'll cover more than that, so it'll come up a little bit. So I'll have the dryer boards be up in the part that's inside, but I want to get the roof up, so I'm going to get going, and we'll just keep you updated as we go. So because right now upstairs we've got this roof up on this side, got to do that side, but before I do anything I got to go get pick up another roll of roofing paper and redo this side, and then I'll start on that side, and I should be able to knock that out pretty quick because I've pre-installed the bases for all of the panels. And if you watch the previous video, I have that detailed on this side because these are 4 by 8 foot panels, so that when I relocate this I can just pull the panels off and I don't have to pull off every board. And that's going to be a huge help because, now let me count. So panel starts here, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boards per panel, and that worked out excellent. So I've got whatever that is, 6 inches by 7, 36, yeah, and then 36. Yeah, 42 inches. And by, man, what a morning. By 8 foot. Anyways, that works out so that there are 3 panels and then just about 4 inches at the top. And that covers the whole side of the roof, the other side. So all I have to do is that, and so 7, 21, 42. So I need 42 boards all together. See what I have over there. I've got 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. That's 4, 5 all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 6. So I've got plenty. Okay, because I only need 6 panels, and then I will need that 4 inches taken care of across the top. So I've got enough boards to finish the roof, and I'm gonna get going on it. I gotta go pick up that tar paper. I'm gonna pick up a new stapler because the stapler I have is junk and I gotta return it. But my priority isn't returning it. I can do that anytime. And I wanna get that roof up. And once the roof is up, I'll talk to the guy about the tin. And in the meantime, if I don't get the chance to pick that up, if he's not available right away, then I will work on the balcony or the door. I'll decide then. Maybe the door because it'd be a lot warmer with the door. But maybe the trim up top. That's a pretty big priority. So I think that'll be next. Once I get the roof on and tar papered so that it's dry, then I'll go ahead and start buttoning up where all the light comes in up there, which, you know, it's pretty cool to have some light up there, but I'd rather just put in some windows later and let this natural light go up, because this whole section's going to be open, and honestly, we'll see how dark it is when we get to that point. But I'm not worried about it in the meantime. So you see the width of those boards. Those are the boards exactly like what I'll be using up top, and I've got plenty of them, so that's perfect to help things be safe and better installed. So I'm glad I watched those videos and thought about it, and I'm going to do it. So we'll go from there. I'll keep you updated, and you'll keep seeing me. Alright, so here we are with all the holes in this tarp, and that's just from the use we've been giving it. Now, it's not supposed to rain or snow for the rest of the day. It's sprinkling down right now and melting off the rooftop. So not quite what it says it's supposed to do, but we're gonna get into it and just commit. So it's real pretty out. See the mountains over there. I don't know if you catch the occasional little tiny snowflake, but it's definitely still snowing a little bit. So hopefully it doesn't come down too heavy. But we're just gonna get to it. Okay, I'm up here just to show you my discontent. See, there you can see the snow coming down. But so the stapler I had, so here you could say, well, it's not flat, so it did that, and I understand. But how about here? You know, that's totally flat. It's right in the middle of the board. Ripped it anyways. Same thing here. Same thing here and here and here, and a lot of places. So I'm really not happy with the cheap stapler from Walmart, the Hyper Tough brand. I guess it is snowing a little faster, so we might get dumped on, I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, it looks like it, but gotta get things done. But I'll do a little unpackaging video and an explanation of why I've purchased what I have to complete this project, and I'll tell you how it goes with the review after I finish the project. So let's get down. Open this up to show you that, and just let a little light in here. So I'll hop down and show you what's going. So here we have what I've been using, which I'm going to return, and what I just picked up. Now, with regards to putting holes in the tar paper, you just look at this and you can see that's where all the force is distributed, and when I hit it, unless I've got the whole thing perfectly flush, then, which puts my hand basically resting on the roof surface, not smashing it because of that little bend, but pretty close. And the angle's not always perfect when I'm up there just leaning over, but you can see that little edge. That's what it hits and cuts with. And so one of the big reasons why I went with this one is you can see that is flattened out and rounded in a way that's going to distribute that force better and hopefully not pierce the paper. We'll see. But that's the idea. Either way, this one was like $11 or something like that. It comes with a 5-year warranty, as you can see, and all the same size staples, the T50, and this one says it on this side. So we'll unscrew this and just gonna unpackage it and give it a go. This one is the carbon fiber one. It's lighter. It really just felt better in my hand. There are only 2 options of the DeWalt's having this section here, which is what I was really going for. This one's nice because I can store staples here. That's not an option with this one, and so that's nice because I'll stop breaking the stretches of staples nice and straight that they come in with, so that hopefully will reduce binding, because this stapler got stuck closed where I literally had to pry it open basically with a crowbar. This was stuck all the way. This was totally flush with that and wouldn't come out, and it happened more than once, and I had to open this literally while I was stapling. It got to the point where I had to open this and push this forward, so I had to push it that way. So I was back here and push it that way after every single staple toward the end of the job. And that's not a big roof. I mean, it's 10 by 16, and yeah, I wasn't even done with it, and that started sticking to that point. It was just horrible, horrible, terrible. I would not recommend this. I would not buy it again, not even for a small job. And even with a full stretch of staples, it was getting stuck and binding up, and it was horrible and frustrating, and don't do it. Not worth it. This was a lot more. This was $39 plus tax, and obviously it's the carbon fiber version. It's supposed to be good for long-term use and all that. Also comes with a limited lifetime warranty there, which is found here. Go ahead and pause that if you want to read it. And I picked this up at Home Depot because that's like 5 minutes away. So I'm going to try that today, and hopefully it does a lot better job and gets done what we need done without putting holes in stuff, because we don't need holes in our waterproofing layer. So just wanted to give you that update of why the change, and like I say, this is the only brand that does that, flattening it out to distribute the force there, hopefully not tear it, and we'll see. But I'll keep you up to date, and I'm gonna get to it. I'm not gonna be filming through the process just because it's dangerous and I don't want to fall. So we'll get you an update after I'm done, and I'll show you the results as best I can. Well, I feel like I've been wasting a lot of time with a learning curve here, getting this, what should be simple, done. But got the first strip across there, you can see better there, yeah. And just really learning how to be safe with this ladder, and had it all the way down for that part, stapled it as I went. Then I just took out the staples except for the ones at the very end, which I'm gonna climb down the ladder, pull out, and then straighten that so that it's at the top of the first panel there and there, and then I will secure it with a lot more staples. But my idea is having it flat, or at the height of the panel, so that it's fairly horizontal instead of leaning and squonky, and then the overlap being like that too. So I'm gonna do that, go secure it, and then hopefully the next two go faster. But because this should be a very quick process, and it is not yet, but it'll get there. And then once I have those 3 strips done, I will start building the roof on the other side. Well, I'm gonna put the strip across the top here, and I'll probably build part of the other side before I do that, so that I just lean over and get it the way it's gonna stay, and I'll just leave the overlap unstable on the other side. But that's how it's gonna be. And what I've done is pre-cut the length over here. I have the cutouts that I mitered off some of the purlins, and these are from the ridge beams and lower purlins, but I've just used that to measure length, and I've used that board to keep a straight edge and cut it so I have the exact length. I'm not worried about having it go over the edges, because I'm going to trim that or cover it eventually anyways. And so that's how it's going to be. And I tore that hole in some of these little holes with staples, not when I was pulling them out, so that I can readjust the whole thing. That's the tricky or dangerous part about working up there, is I couldn't get real close to it to pull it out, but I'm not super worried. It's right at the end. It's going to be covered with tin anyways, so it'll be fine. So I'm going to get back at it so that I can get this done hopefully today, but we'll see. So this is how I've got this ladder set up. Angle there, angle here, hooked over the roof, laying flat. It's going about 3/4 of the way down. I had it out more. I had it all the way, had that hinge hooked here, just flipped it over for getting that first row. This is a lot nicer because it's smooth. The first time it had that hinge right there, it flipped down, and that was scratching things up. Luckily that was the lower layer, so it's no big deal. And I just went down and I tacked the corners on this 3rd row, and then I'm going to adjust this ladder so that I just have one piece over the top, and then I'll do the rest like that. And that's going to make it so that it'll be a little more work moving it between these areas, but I might just pick it up and roll underneath it and get to the other side and adjust it, make sure it's level, tack the corners, then go through and do it all the way it is. Because honestly, this way it's pretty easy to just pick it up and pop it between rows, and I'll only need to do that for the lower one, and I only might need to do that. We'll see how my stretch is, see how secure I feel. I'm pretty sure I can climb up here and reach the bottom of that, but if I don't feel safe doing it, then I won't. So just wanted to show you what I'm doing. Had some running around to do with the family, so now it's dark and I am getting the push on. I'd really like to finish this tonight, but we'll see. What I got to do is get this row on, and then I'll get the next row started. What I might do is just start putting the boards on, if I can position the ladder to where it will be safe, or I can just stand on the ladder and reach the whole thing, since this piece is going to be folded over, and I know that I'll have plenty of overlap on both sides of the ridge. And so we'll see what I decide with this. I might just leave it there so that it's got some breathing space at the top. That's probably what I'm gonna do. So I think that's my plan for now. We'll see. I might close it up just like the other side, which is there. That was my original plan, but then I heard, hey, it's a good idea to leave some breathing room, and we'll see in about an hour what I decide to do. So that's us getting on, and I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna get that side done. It'd be nice. That's the side that was more dangerous. This side's gonna be a lot faster and easier, doing it one step at a time, and just go from the top down, leave a little overlap unstapled until I get the next set ready to lay out and staple on. But pre-measuring and cutting the rolls to length, oh, it's been so helpful, because then I'm not worrying about that, lugging that whole heavy roll around on this 12-12 pitch and having it roll off. And this clamp has been sufficient to keep it from doing what you saw in the previous video, where it just laid down and let go of everything and tore and messed everything up. So don't want to have that happen again. And so this roll supposedly has enough for the entire roof, both sides, and so that's why I decided to do that side again with it instead of just moving on. And I wanted to really make sure things were good. So, like I've talked about before with the holes from the previous hammer tacker, but you'll see the updates as they come. Thank you. Alright, so I've taken the ladder and I set it up like a platform here, because I'm going to work on the top, and I'm hoping that'll give me the height that I need. It looks like it, but we'll see. And if not, then we'll modify things. But that's what I'm doing from here. And I'm about to put the fourth roll on, and that is going to be, it's going to go across the ridge. So I'm planning on putting on just what we need for the, like a halfway overlap to, right in the middle bend on either side. And so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and apply this, and I'll staple it up to the ridge, and then I will start putting the boards on to come down the other side of the roof. And that's where we're at. So this is the fourth roll out, or fourth layer, and I have it stapled down on that east surface, and that is completely covered, and this is just laid over on the west facing surface. And now I'll be flipping that up as I apply the roof boards under it, and then I'll just move down and continue to overlap as I proceed down toward the bottom. So the most dangerous part is done. All the rest of this is going to be a lot easier, a lot safer than what I've done so far. And just need to be careful and not do any more of that. So that's all there is to it. And I'm not super concerned about that little space, because I'm gonna be covering it with some tin as soon as I get the chance, after I get this finished and dried in. So I'm going to proceed from there. It's not supposed to snow until 3 a.m. so hopefully I can get this done well before I have to stop tonight, so that tomorrow it's ready for whatever I choose. I just went ahead and I flipped that over so that it's not in the way. I'm not trying to work under it or the whole time. So you can see there, it's just flipped over on itself, and then I'll just flip it back where it's going to stay when I'm ready to tack it down. Alright, so I've got this here. Those are the boards I had ready, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put a cap on that. I'm not really worried about ventilation. It's going to be, there will be plenty of ventilation. It's not going to be as tightly sealed as, it's not going to be airtight, considering gaps like that. So I'm not going to really worry about it. I'll go ahead and put a layer on there, and then I'll get that flipped over and buttoned up. Alright, so there we are. That's how I'm going to leave it. So it's almost to the top. It's got a little breathing room. And I'm just going to flip this over now as smoothly as I can. Try and not crease anything to where it rips. And then staple it down. And see if we can not rip that side. I have to go over more. There we go. Alright, so that's how it's going to be. And I'll staple it to about there, and then I'll leave the rest for overlap. And just want to make sure that we've got enough to overlap all the way. And let's see, on the other side, how much did we overlap? Oh, like a foot. So that's plenty. Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna get that tacked down and keep going. Well, a little late start. Just had a relaxing little light breakfast before I came out, and then since it had snowed, or was snowing still, and now it's just misting. But because of that, I took it easy and I went ahead and prepped all of the boards that are going to finish the roof there. And so I've got them here lined up, got the ladder lined up, and now I'll go ahead and after I show you the inside what that's looking like, I'll remove this tarp and get these up. So let's go ahead and go inside. And that's the tarp over there is the one I had covering this side from before the windows were in. So I moved that to the other side because I needed to cover that whole space and didn't want to wrestle that huge tarp up and over, and it didn't need it, to be honest. And so I went ahead and pulled that one off and just put this one up, and that was just to keep, it was supposed to snow, and so I just want to make sure that things stay dry, and that worked out. I tell you what, every time I get a section of materials removed from this area, it's more exciting because, clear out that floor, space looks larger and closer to finished, and obviously not finished, but closer to it. All those boards are going to be the loft. I've got enough to triple layer it like I wanted, and that's what I plan to do after I get the ceiling done, and then I'll do the door. I'm gonna do it in that order because it's gonna be really quick, and I'll have the majority of what needs to be done up here complete. Because after I get this finished, so I got to that point last night, after I get this finished, then it's going to be just closing off the ends there, these ends, those ends, where you're seeing the light come in, and so that's all there will be left to do, and it's gonna be great. But before I do that stuff, I'll get this in. That's gonna clear that whole corner out and take up most of those boards that are leaning up on the edge, and help this to look real well. I'm gonna leave the support over here up because, well, I might even make it taller eventually, we'll see. But just because I'm going to finish this edge, and I'm gonna need some more vertical than, well, I could use that other ladder, but I just think this whole platform setup is safer. But okay, standing in the middle, still there's 8 inches above my head before I touch the ridge beam, so a 6 foot tall person will be able to stand straight up in this space at the center and stretch their neck without hitting the ridge beam. So just that little bit that's left. So 3 more boards and I'll be covering the entire interior space with the ceiling. And as you can see through the gaps, I still need to tar paper the lower section, and so that's where we're at with that. And just showing you a little bit. So that's gonna go from there, gonna knock it out and get it done. And so far, I'm liking this hammer tacker compared to the other one. This one is not jammed on me. One thing that I didn't understand was, so I said you could, carry your staples back here for when you refill, and that's a mistake. That just releases it, and you load them from down here. And yes, some rain got on my staples. Good thing is that the majority of this is carbon fiber, so I'm not real worried about that, but I am going to take it in and dry it out real well as soon as I finish with this project. And positive experience with this so far. So you can see I've used the back to hammer in what has not been completely sunk to the level of the surface, and so that's just been really useful. I like that, and all good. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I haven't dropped it. I don't want to, just like any tool, don't want to. So it fits just fine in my hammer section of my tool belt, and it's easy to use. It's light, functions as promised, and feels good in my hand, and definite upgrade over the other one. Worth it. I would buy it again. So that's my experience with that, and I'm gonna get to it. Oh, and good morning, by the way. And thank you for hitting that thumbs up and for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. Alright, well, this is the west facing side, and that's what I've done this morning. We've got the roof up, and I put one more layer of tar paper up, and I showed you there rolling it out, cutting it to length. That really is a big help. I find that it's a lot easier to manage having it up there rather than worrying about carrying the whole roll, which is heavy and not nearly as enjoyable as knowing I've already got the right amount. I don't have to cut anything, I don't have to carry extra. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the tar paper up, and then I'll be dried in from that point of view, and that's gonna be really nice, because then it's just gonna be the gaps up around the roof and the door, and then it'll be totally dried in. And it's been a lot of work. This ladder has been really big help. I've used it in a whole bunch of different configurations, and I'm about to reconfigure it so I can get that stretch of tar paper up. Hopefully that'll just be one and done. Cross my fingers for that, because that'd be real nice to not have to do two more up here, just go across at once and not have to deal with any more dangerous angles here, because honestly it's not the most fun part. Satisfying having it done, but was not the part I enjoyed the most, especially because of the 12-12 pitch. So I'm happy I've got a 12-12 pitch because of the winters, but I'm not definitely didn't enjoy putting it up. And so some of you who can relate to that can appreciate that feeling of not wanting to do it again. So anyways, that's where we're at, and we'll keep going. All right, there it is. The tar paper is up and over all the way, and one more row is all I needed there. Perfectly overlapped, just the way I'd like it. Lined it up with the bottom and made sure it would overlap on the top, so it got a couple inches of overlap there, and plenty of overlap all the way up. It's like 8 inches on the other and 6 inches on the one below that, so 2 inches there, about 6 inches, and then 8 inches at the top. I knew there was going to be plenty, but ended up being just right the way I staggered them. So it's 3 sheets or 3 rows, and then one over the ridge, and that's it. Should be safe from the weather now, except for the door. So we'll get on that. Let me get a view of the other side here. Just keep walking along. I'm on that brick wall, if you can see. Yeah. So, and on this side is where I'll put the door coming out up top, and a balcony, and a step down to where the kids will be able to play, hook the ladder or the slides up, and so that will come off about here, the balcony will, and then it'll step down to the height wherever the sides need to be, and so that'll be a nice additional play area in combination with the loft. Now this building, I planned it so it wouldn't feel cramped inside. It definitely doesn't feel cramped. It feels very tall. And looking at it on the outside, it looks very tall. I gotta admit that. Definitely looks taller than I expected. But I'm happy with the way it's turning out. So now what's left, close the gaps at the top around the roof, insulate and put the ceiling in, and build the door and put the loft together. That's it. Oh, and detail work, trim everything. So thanks again. Please subscribe to my channel and share it with others. And I just want to say thank you to those who have. I have some new subscribers recently, and I just want to let you know I appreciate that. And it makes a difference for me. So thank you. So I was over here taking some pictures of this angle, and in the picture when I have it vertical, I realize I've gone through a few pallets to get to this point. And the way I realize that is this right here. Now this is mostly the pieces that were from about here up. So maybe 2/3 right here. Another third that I've gone through. Have some stacked over there. I'm gonna chop it, stack it. Well, I'll stack it, and then I'll chop it as needed with the rough miter. So I've got my miter saw for doing finishing things, and then I've got the miter saw that I use more like a chop saw, and that's the one I'll use to just chop this up into the length for firewood, and that'll get us a good long while. I don't have to haul any, that's for sure. Oh, and there's more, so scattered throughout, holding that cloth down around the garden beds. So definitely we'll have some cleanup to do. That is going to be a lot of stacking. I think I might do that a little more passively. I know where it's going though. Way back there. Ooh, next to that stack. And then I'll cover it. And gotta repair that fence. That broke. I think I mentioned it before. When I had that window covered and there was a storm and it blew over what I had covering it. Snapped that. And I've got to make my fence stand up straight again because it's a little squonky. And it'd be good to close that gap. Not all the way. I like access in the middle without having to hop around it or over or under. But maybe close it halfway or leave 3 feet open or something, a wheelbarrow can fit in. We'll see. Or maybe just leave it that way so we can move the picnic table into the garden area. Because eventually I would like to get that big trellis going on in the middle. I'm wondering why there's always grass here. What's that doing there? I'm gonna have to do some work to this garden this year. Tell you what, it's been weird weather, but things are getting green. I mean, look at that garlic and onions there. And then I saw some volunteer sprouts over where I had a compost pile. And, ooh, I don't know. Let's see if you can see it. There are probably can't see it that quality, but there are carrot greens I can see over there that are bright green. So got some cleanup to do, but good progress, lots of progress, and it's cool. Let's go inside and see what it's like. All right, let's go up the steps. And you can see everywhere lights coming in up here. It needs to not be. Yeah, it keeps it decently illuminated this way, so it'd be kind of cool to just put something clear up and let that light come in. But I'd like it to be a little more useful, warmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and insulate it. That's the plan anyways. And we can use flashlights and headlamps while hanging out up here if it's nighttime. And if the kids want to climb up here and take naps, and I don't want them to get baked in the summertime. It'd be nice to have that insulated, and there'll be plenty of natural light coming up when this, where it's at here, this whole section is open all the way across. Yeah, it's just like this again because of getting things built. But that's where we're at. I'm gonna go check in with my family, and just want to share it with you. So it's exciting, it's cool. It's a little bit daunting thinking, oh, everything that's been done, and it's gonna be a lot of work to move this. Partway through, I thought, man, I could just stop building it and finish when I've got it, move what I had done and get that done at a later date. But then I said, hey, I'm this far, finish what you started, basically. And so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm doing. And that's the way it is. We're gonna just keep it up. Eventually I'll get some stairs built, and then we'll replace the ladder with stairs. But in the meantime, they're gonna serve their purpose, and I'll get progressing with other stuff. So it'll be good to get the door and then the balcony done so that we can start getting cozy in here, because the gaps up here are less important to me than the door and the balcony. Those should be fairly simple to close. Not necessarily fast, but simple. So we'll see. But we'll keep you up to date. There she is. The roof is on. So thank you much. Thanks for sticking with me this far, and I appreciate you. You'll see me next time.